Hi, everyone, and welcome to another lesson for pre service teachers. This lesson is designed to address Competency 4, which focuses on understanding the learning processes and the factors that impact student learning. The lesson follows the Madeline Hunter lesson cycle, and it demonstrates effective planning, engagement, assessment, and instructional decision making for diverse learners. Understanding how students learn is essential for designing effective instruction. Learning is influenced by cognitive development, emotional readiness, social interactions, and the classroom environment. Teachers who understand these factors are better equipped to engage students, remove barriers to learning, and plan instruction that meets the needs of all learners. These objectives are measurable and aligned to Competency 4. They require students not only to understand learning theory, but also to apply it through analysis, collaboration, and reflection. Key skills for effective teaching practices. The anticipatory set activates prior knowledge and engages students immediately. By analyzing a realistic classroom and scenario, students begin thinking critically about learning processes and student behavior before formal instruction even begins. During direct instruction, students learn how various learning processes affect engagement and achievement. Emphasis is placed on how instruction, classroom climate, and teacher expectations influence student success. These foundational knowledge prepares students for application activities. Modeling demonstrates how teachers apply learning theory in practice. By walking through a case study, the instructor shows students how to identify the learning challenges and make instructional decisions based on student needs. Checking for understanding is embedded throughout the entire lesson. Questioning and discussion allows the instructor to monitor student comprehension and clarify any misconceptions before moving forward. In the guided practice or small group discussion, this allows students to collaborate and apply learning concepts. Each group analyzes a classroom scenario. They identify the learning factors and then they propose instructional strategies that address student diversity, including special education needs. Independent practice requires students to reflect on their learning and connect theory to practice. This activity promotes a deeper understanding and professional self awareness. Assessments are aligned with lesson objectives and learning activities. Formative assessments guide instruction, while the summative reflection allows students to demonstrate understanding of a learning processes and instructional decision making. Effective instruction requires intentional planning for students with disabilities and diverse learning needs. Modifications support access to content without lowering expectations and ensuring instruction is equitable and inclusive. Here are some examples of how to demonstrate how teachers can support students based on learning processes. Modifications may reduce barriers and allow students to demonstrate understanding in appropriate ways. Technology enhances engagement and supports diverse learners as well. Visual presentations like this one, collaborative tools, and digital submissions allow for flexibility and accessibility. Closure reinforces lesson objectives and allows students to synthesize learning. By articulating how learning processes influence instruction, students demonstrate mastery of competency 4. And here we see that competency 4 fully aligns with this lesson by demonstrating how knowledge of the learning processes informs instructional planning, assessments, and modifications for diverse learners. Now, let's move on to the next part of the presentation that focuses on the importance of instructional and assessment modifications for students with disabilities and diverse learning needs. Understanding how learning processes differ among students allows educators to design instruction that is equitable, accessible, and effective. These modifications are not meant to lower expectations, but rather to provide appropriate supports that enable all students to access the curriculum and demonstrate learning. Instructional modifications are essential because students learn in different ways and at different rates. Factors such as cognitive processing, attention, emotional regulation, language proficiency, and environmental influences can significantly impact learning. Federal laws such as IDEA and Section 504 require educators to provide appropriate accommodations and modifications. More importantly, modifications promote fairness, they reduce barriers to learning, and support student success in inclusive classroom environments. Instructional modifications focus on how content is delivered. Examples include chunking information into smaller segments, using visual supports such as graphic organizers, providing explicit modeling, and allowing additional processing times. These strategies support students with learning disabilities, attention difficulties, and language delays by reducing cognitive load and increasing comprehension. Effective instruction considers how students process information and adapts teaching methods accordingly. Assessment modifications allow students to demonstrate their learning in ways that align with their learning needs. Examples include alternative response formats such as oral responses, extended time, reduced answer choices, or the use of assistive technology. These modifications ensure assessments measure student knowledge rather than barriers related to disability. Aligning assessment methods with instructional strategies is a key component of effective lesson planning. Behavioral and environmental supports play a critical role in student learning. Preferential seating, clear routines, positive reinforcement, and sensory supports help create a structured and predictable learning environment. These supports are especially beneficial for students with ADHD, emotional or behavioral disorders, and sensory processing needs. A positive classroom climate enhances engagement, motivation, and academic success. In classroom case studies, Instructional decisions should be based on identified learning processes and student needs. For example, a student struggling with attention may benefit from visual clues and frequent check ins, while a student with a processing delay may require extended time and simplified directions. By aligning modifications to specific learning factors, teachers can create instruction that is responsive, inclusive, and developmentally appropriate. Once again, here are some modifications for students with disabilities, and they include if the student receives the slideshow or the notes in advance, if you include closed captions or guided notes, or have varying participation levels and also offering extended time. In conclusion, instructional and assessment modifications are essential components of effective teaching. By understanding how learning processes impact student performance, educators can design lessons that are engaging, supportive, and equitable. Intentional planning for diverse learners ensures that all students are given the opportunity to succeed academically and socially within the classroom. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share with another educator or pre service learner. And remember to keep teaching fun, creative, and be confident. And I'll see you in the next class.